Hey guys, donnellsstitchery here for another tutorial for you guys for our block of the week. So last week, you guys probably see me. If you have not, I will link the last week's video down below, as well as I'll post it up in one of these corners or something as well. But this is the one we did last week, and yes, I know, one of these did not match the other three. We got three with the yellow in the center and one in the green in the center. This one here, my yellow and green, I got swapped around. Didn't notice it until after I already had it done, but that's okay because things happen, you know. So in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and hem this right here. And these are the same colors I am using for this one today. Today we are doing the snail trail. Let me bring that picture up on the camera here. So I have designed this in my EQ8 to make sure I got just the right measurements. And I will give you guys all the measurements for this as we go. So that is the block right there that we are going to do. Now, if you wanted to, you could do where I had the green and the yellow at, you could do both green or both yellow. And then where I had the white at, you could do as another color if you want. So that way there's like a continuous movement and everything of two colors, which would be really cool. This one here, I'm trying to stick with the theme of all yellow and green for this first quilt. So, with that being said, I am going to move my mouse off to the side over here. Make sure it's not anywhere where I can click on anything that it does not need to be clicking on. So the first things that we are going to need is letter A. We are going to need one square of each color, and it is going to be cut 5 7/8. Now you could round up to 6 if you want. I went ahead and did the 5 7/8. I know I don't ever do the eighths, and this time around I decided, you know, I'm going to test this out of doing their exact measurements in EQ8, which is 5 7/8. So you would try and cut one square and cut it in half. So that is one half, that is the other half of that square, and then with my yellow and green, I only needed one half, so I put the other halves away. But that is 5 7/8. You need, if you're doing a two color, you need one square of each color, cut it in half. If you're doing three colors like I am, then you only need half of a square of the green and the yellow, and then the whole square cut in half of the, what I'm calling as the white. It's a print, but I'm calling it the white because it's mainly white. Next up, we have letter B, as in boy. And this here, we need, it's going to be cut the same way as before, as the letter A. And that is, as letter A. And letter B is going to be 3 3/8. Now, if you want to try and jump up to the next half or quarter, then it would be 3 1/2. The next one we have is the letter C, which is 6 1/4, and you cut it diagonally both ways to cut it in quarters. And that is 6 1/4. And then letter D, and letter C, you need one of each of them that would all be cut up. So one square of each, and you only wind up needing, for this one here, since I did yellow and green, then you only need one of each of the quarters of the yellow and green and 2 of the white. And then for letter D, that is 2 1/4. And you need, for me, since I'm doing 3 colors, I need 2 of the whites, 1 of the yellow, and 1 of the green. And we are going to start with letter D today. We're going to put that down there, and we're going to create a 4 patch out of this. So we are going, I want to make this orientated properly here. So we are going to put these two together. And we're going to stitch a 1/4 of an inch seam. Just as soon as I thread my machine. I just got done winding some bobbins, and I completely forgot to rethread my needle, as well as pull my thread up from the bobbin. You don't have to do that step. It's just the stuff I like to do. It's became a very much of a habit for me. So yeah. Oopsies. Okay, whatever it wasn't up for, I hope we got it fixed. Might have to go back over that one for a moment. Let me double check. Got a little bit of a going on right there. We were trying to do a quick little, don't really know what took place over there. So we're just going to cut that bird's nest right off of there. And we're going to do that one again, just to be safe that we have it all correct. There we go. I'm like, I did not like the way that that looked. I'm like, that's a redo. And you'll find my methods are not always 100% correct. I have boo-boos sometimes. Y'all get to see all my boo-boos. I don't hide them. And we're going to press, I'm going to press this one to the green and this one to the yellow so that way they are facing opposite directions. Or if you want to do them all, whichever way you want, you could do it open, however it is that your little heart desires. Because you know, in the quilting world, the only rule in the quilting world is that there are no rules. Oh, and my husband and son went thrifting the other day. They got me this really old iron. It still had the manufacturer's tag sticker going across. They cleaned it up, got all the residue off, made it look all nice and pretty. And this thing works like a trooper. I swear. Even without the steam setting, I mean, it has a steam setting, and it does a phenomenal job on the steam setting. I love the fact that the water tank is very clear, so you can actually see it. For my other one, you really can't see it. So since I pressed towards the, let me do it down here. So since I pressed towards the color fabrics, we should be facing in opposite directions. If we're not, I will fix this. And we are. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, so now I have that lined up. Have my seams lined up, so we are going to get busy stitching. Unless I accidentally hit that button that I keep meaning to default or remove or whatnot, and it's, yeah. I keep hitting the button that keeps messing it up. There we go. One of these days I'm going to remember to disable that automatic thread cutter pedal aspect. I truly hate that thing. I really, really do. Alrighty. Now we can press this. And I am going to use my acorn pen because now we're starting to get into some heavier seams. And in my acorn pen, I have Best Press. I just put it right on my seam and then I press it. It doesn't leave a residue on my thing or anything like that. So now we have this. So we want to build upon this now. So now we are going to go to letter, I believe it's B. Let me double check. Yes. Now we need letter B as in boy. And all we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to match up the color. where it's going to be like this. Down here is going to be this. And then our white pieces are going to go on each side like that. And that is how that's going to start out with a layout. So we're going to start, I'm going to put the white pieces over here, and we're going to start with the yellow and the green. We want the yellow square to touch the yellow triangle, the green square to touch the green triangle, like this right here, because that's the way that we're going to start building out our tails. Or a snail trail. I've heard it called a cat tail, a snail trail. EQ8 calls it a monkey wrench. I don't understand the monkey wrench part, but that's what EQ8 has it as. Like when I clicked on it, it said snail trail. And then the moment I moved it over, it changed its name. I'm like, who are you? Let's see, we're going to use a clip over here. That way there I can fold this up and clip this down. And what I'm doing is I am using the triangle tips here to keep them along my seam so that way there I know I'm dead center. Another method that you could do is take your piece, take your triangle and fold it in half. Make a little crease right here in the center with your fingers. Just use your nails or iron or whatever, or you could mark it if you wanted, however you want to do. I just made that little crease right there. That little crease in the shadow here. And then you just line this up face down with the, so you just line that crease right up with that center right there, that center seam. And that's another way that you can tell that you have it centered. Which is probably the method I'll be taking with the white ones here shortly. But it's okay. However it is that you feel like trying to find the centerpiece of yours. It is 100% okay. I did this exactly by the measurements of EQ8. I feel like it could have went down a little bit smaller, like a hair, like less than an eighth smaller or something, because I'll show you in just a moment of why I feel that way. So see, let's see, let me trim this here. So if you look at the overhang here, you'll see that my stitching is over here. This is a 1/4 of an inch stitching, but yeah, it still has some fabric remaining, which means it's still slightly larger of a triangle, because otherwise it should have been my fabric should have been my triangle should have been coming out right where the stitching started. But that's okay, because it happens. I'd rather have a little bit more than too less. More fabric is always better because you can trim down. Where less fabric is not good because you can't trim up. I mean, you could add more fabric, but then you got an extra seam and it's just not going to look right, in my opinion. And yes, I'm just doing a lot of chit chat right now while I'm busy doing this stuff. You guys hear that sizzle? I love the sound of a sizzling hot iron. It sounds so wonderful. So nice and flat. Now I'm just going to take my snips and I'm going to snip off the things here just to make it nice and even. Even edges with a square. Because now what we're going to do is now we are going to add the white two sides. And we're going to match up our thing here. And we should have the exact 1/4 of an inch on each side of the seam like I was referring to. And I could show you once I get this one done. That might be the reason why it was too large on the yellow and green portion. Let's see. And if you guys can hear my husband and son's TV in the front room, I am very, very sorry. They have a tendency to play it a little loud sometimes. Oh, yep, it fits just perfectly here, so that's why that one was a little too big. So I would stick with these measurements that they provide. Before I cut out the little excess edges here, I will show you guys what I meant by the little bit too much of an overhang or whatnot. So like right there, you can see where my stitching comes out. Get my scissors over here. There we go. Comes out right where the white fabric corner triangle starts. So that means that everything lined up beautifully. So now I am going to use my acorn pen on this seam. Okay, so now we're just going to trim out those little triangles that are overhanging on each end. You could cut these 1/4 inch things off as you go, or you could cut them off beforehand if you're able to judge about where the 1/4 inch is for trimming them off before you stitch them on. However it is that you want to do. I usually try to cut them before I go. So looking at this right here, let's see, where's the camera at? There we go. Looking at this right here. So now what we need to do is we need to take letter C, and we are going to put letter C over here and over here. That should be over here. Let's see. Yep, I like it right there. You could do it on either one, so that way the tail curls on either side, whichever way that you want. You could do it on here, or you could do it over on the other side. Oh, actually, no, you can't because it starts over here, so it needs to swing around. Okay, so we're gonna do there, and then we'll do the white ones on here. So that way there, these portions swing around. So we're going to set these off to the side over here while we get these here lined up. Now I'm lining up with the center right here. The center of my, I'm going to line up with the center of my 4 patch because I know that's dead center. So we're going to line up with that. You could press these in half if you like to get the perfect center, but that's just the way that I do this. It made sense to my brain. Because as long as it's straight along here and it's running through the center there, then I know I am completely good. And then we're just going to flip this upside down because for me it is easier to sew with this all the way down. easier to sew with the seams up, facing upward, opposed to the seams facing downward. Because I don't have to worry about anything getting flipped around or anything else like that. Snip off my corners. Hi, Quasar. Yes, you're the big bird. Are you saying hello to all your fans? Say hello, fans. I'm going to teach them how to say this to you guys. Say hello, fans. Yes, hello, fans. Say hey, peeps. Yes, say hi, peeps. Hi, peeps. Yeah. There's a good boy. It's a good boy, Quasar. And you could take this log here as large as you want it. I'm stopping at 10 inch because that is the size I want to do. I was going to do initially do 12 inch. I know. But that block changed it because that block came out at 10. So it is what it is. So the design shows the size of the block. When I think somehow or another I cut them wrong. I don't know if I looked at it wrong or if I looked at the measurement wrong or what I did wrong, but it came out wrong. I'm sure I probably looked at the ruler wrong when I cut it and didn't realize it until it was too late. But that is okay because life happens. Raise up my needle and flop this around so that way I'm not even cutting the threads. Snip in my corners. Just cutting out the dog tails or dog ears or whatever it is that they call this. I believe it's dog ears. I can't remember. My brain is going, boop. Let's see here. Okay, now we can press this one. Add our little best press on here that I have in my acorn pen. Add that on here so that way I get a nice wet seam. Yep, that one I messed up a little bit, but that's okay because it can always be trimmed down just a hair. And what I'm referring to is you can see right there I misgauged where my stitching is and wound up going over a little bit too much of a 1/4 inch seam and left myself with a little excess. I could take it apart and redo it, but I'm not going to. So this here is our last one, letter A, and it's going to be doing the exact same rotation that we already did. So we're going to start off with putting our white pieces off to the side. And we're going to follow this around. So we got there, there, there. So that means this one here goes over here. Lining the corner, lining this up with our center seam here. And that tells me that we have it right on the center. Clip it. I like to clip it with a clip down. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. And for this one, I just pull this back so that way there I can make sure I have this in the center, lined up. And as you can see, my tip is right on the center of the seam here. And that lets me know I have this going good. And that needs to go up this way. We're going to flip this over and stitch. That one got a little kaboobled. Hey, there we go. And this is the last round that we got to do, so we're almost done, guys. Just bear with me a little bit longer. That one got messed up as well. Let's see. You do want to be careful because these triangles are on the bias. I did just use it to my advantage a little bit. Just forgot to make sure my needle thread was down underneath the foot. That's okay, I was able to catch it and fix it. And a little point that I can make for you, a little helping hint. Oh my gosh. I cannot talk tonight, guys. What the poo? So, to help make sure that you don't ever lose any points, one little helpful hint that I can give you that someone else has given to me before is when your seams come together and you don't, so for like this seam right here of how it met up, let me try and bring it around to the green area over here. That might be easier to see. Yeah, there we go. So how this seam here, how it crosses, if you try and stitch on, let's see, this side of the X, so if you stitch over here on this side where my fingernail is, then you'll be able to keep your points. Alrighty. If you guys hear the TV in the front room, I am so sorry. At times, my husband can be a little bit of a hard of hearing, and he likes to have it up nice and loud for everybody in the neighborhood to hear it. Drives me bonkers. I always have to have him lower it down when I go back out there because I'm like, I like to keep my hearing. And my viewers don't need to hear what you're watching. So here it is so far. Isn't it looking super cute? I love this fabric. I got to find the other pieces of this I have so that way there I can get it all done up and everything. I would sew them all together now as I go. However, I feel like if I do that, then if I had to change the fabrics as I go or something, then it's just going to look weird. Where if I wait until I get all 9 blocks done up, because I know I'm going to have to change the fabrics. I just gotta find other fabrics that are also yellow, green, and white to use, and I know I have plenty in my stash. I need one more clip over here. Alrighty. Flip it over and stitch away. Okay, almost done. When I did try and mess up on the seam a little bit, but that's okay. Because these are going to be charity quilts, so which means it's homemade, and homemade means that there at times will be imperfections. Not always. Usually in mine, though, there are. And I'm okay with that because I'm not perfect, so I don't expect my work to be perfect. I like to get it as perfect as I can get it, but if I have a boo boo, as long as I can live with it and no one else is going to notice it offhand and no untrained eye will notice it, then I'm not going to worry about it. Turn this around like this so I can give a good pressing, and then I will show it to you guys, and I could even square this up, which I'll probably wind up doing anyway. So here is the block. Isn't it super cute, guys? Absolutely gorgeous. Let me bring the camera over here where that way there it'll be just me. Oops, wrong one. There we go. So here is our block that I have completed. It is the snail trail. Super cute. Came together beautifully. And let me get my small cutting mat here so that way there I can get a measurement for you to make sure that this, so I can let you know if this actually came out 100% correct. Should be 10 inches by 10 inches. It is actually about 10 and a quarter. So plenty of room for us to trim down a smidge off of each side. And that way there, it would be just perfect 10-inch square then. So let me go ahead and get that taken care of real quick. I will show you guys the completed 10-inch square. Yeah. Let's see here. We're going to take out just a smidge, making sure our 5-inch, because half of 10 is 5 inches. So we want our 10-inch going right down the center on all the way. So we want the 5-inch, where the 5-inch on each direction crosses right in the center of our 4 patch. That's where we want that to meet up. That way there we know we have it 100% completely accurate. And it would be beautiful. I cut 2 sides, flip it around, and that way there, those 2 sides I just cut can line up on a 10-inch block or 10-inch lines while making sure that my center is still perfect of the 5-inch lining up there. And I will show you how much waste that there is in just a moment. So I now have a perfect 10-inch square. There's a beautiful, perfect 10-inch square right there. And move this stuff out of the way so I can move you back down here to the bottom. And I can show you guys. That was my waist. I call this a very big, huge success. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will link the playlist of where these are going to be at and to the description box, as well as right up here. It'll be right here. So I'm trying to figure out my directions with my camera since I changed things around a little bit. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, beautiful day. If you guys try and get a chance, please like, share, and subscribe. Let your friends know, hey, this crazy girl is doing an awesome job on tutorials, down to earth tutorials, and go check her out, you know, hint, hint. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, beautiful day. If you guys get out and about, please make sure you smile to anyone that you come within passing of. You never know whose day that you could change with a simple gesture of a smile. Talk to you guys later. Love y'all. And if you get the chance, come back and hang out with me on Wednesday evening when I'll be working on a foundation paper piece gnome. Bye, guys.